What's up everyone, welcome back to another episode of Collecting, and in today's episode we're going to be going through all of the video games that I bought in the month of March 2025. I hope that sounds good. Let's dive in. So this is the first and hopefully a long series of me talking about the video games I'm buying on a month-to-month basis and why I want them in my collection in the first place. March has been a really good month for me in terms of buying video games. I feel like I've gotten a load off of my list that I really wanted to buy, and I'm just going to run through those games and why I wanted them. Even more excitingly, I got something this month that is off my big wish list, something that I would consider a grail in my collection. Here's a little teaser. This is what we're working with. Ooh, what is it? It's blurry. Ooh. But before we get to that very exciting grail purchase, let's go through the video games. We're starting off strong. Is 1-2 Switch, baby. 1-2 Switch came out with the Nintendo Switch. It came out day and date with the Nintendo Switch. This is a video game that I actually have owned before, so I sold it pretty soon on to get, I think, some of my money back. And now it's not worth as much, and I do make slightly more money than I did back then, so I thought it was the perfect time to repurchase this. There it is, 1-2 Switch. So this game was kind of marketed as the Wii Sports equivalent for the Nintendo Switch when it came out. It features a bunch of small mini games that all take advantage of slightly different features of the Switch and the Joy-Con controllers. The key marketed ones, the ones that they really showed off, were the quick draw shooting game, the balls, like the balls, you figure out how many balls are in your controller game, and also the milking cows one. It's crap. It's bad. However, I do kind of think if they had included this game in the box with the Switch as a pack-in or even pre-installed on the console when you purchased it, it would have been received completely differently, because while the games are kind of, you play it once and then that's it, when it's for free, that's all you need. You need something to kind of go, this is what HD Rumble is, this is what the motion controls are like on the new controller, and that's all. And that's what it is. It's a fun thing to show your friends, but you get bored of it after like 10 minutes. So yeah, 1-2 Switch has unfortunately added itself back into my collection. Next up, this is one I'm a little bit more excited for. This is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Now, I have never been a huge RPG fan, and I'm really hoping that this series will do something for me. It may well not. There is a chance that I will play it and not get on with it, and I'm totally okay with that. This is also one of Nintendo's like premier franchises on the Switch. They have a bunch of games. Monolith Soft has been doing some crazy stuff for the past few years. The effort they've made so far has been pretty fantastic. Their output has been really good. The reviews for these games are very high, and just the quality on them seems fantastic. So I really wanted to give this series a shot. There's been a few series on the Switch that I haven't given enough time, or I haven't given a chance to, and now the generation is near its end. I really want to give these franchises a shot. So Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is going to be on my shelf. Here's what the inside looks like. I love this beautiful artwork we have in here of the characters. I know Shulk, I don't know the other characters. The Xenoblade fans go absolutely crazy for this series. They go absolutely crazy. So yeah, really interested to see how this franchise shapes up. If there are any fans of Xenoblade watching this video, can you let me know, how should I play this game? Should I play it with Japanese dub or the English dub? I don't know if there's a preference in the fan base to one or the other. I'm usually quite happy to listen to a Japanese dub, so if that's better, I'm 100% wanting to do so. Moving swiftly on, similarly, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Now this one is much newer, and so I picked this one up on the launch date for the game, because once again, this is a series that I really want to try and get into, but I also knew that especially this coming out at the end of the Switch lifecycle is likely to be harder to get hold of. Even Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is actually pretty hard to get hold of now physically unless you're buying used, but even so, it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount of copies available. So I picked up this as well because I'm really interested to try the series, and people say this one is really good and quite different to the others. The mech stuff on this seems super cool. The open world looks absolutely beautiful, and I want to try it out. It's one of those games where it's like, even if I don't personally enjoy it, for my collection as a Nintendo fan, this seems like a really exciting franchise to actually collect and have all of the entries in. So with this one specifically, I'm really excited to try the Skell combat and navigation. The Skells are the sort of big mechs that you unlock later into the game, so I'm really interested to try that. I appreciated that this one comes with like a DLC and Nintendo Switch Online free trial. I think this has some NSO functionality, and look at the inside of that box, looking very cool. There's the Skell mech right there. I do actually already have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in my collection, so I just need to get Xenoblade Chronicles 3 now, and also I guess need to get Xenoblade 2 Torna Country, I think that's what it's called, but like the expansion pass they did for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I still need to pick that up as well, maybe see if I can get that one physically, because I know it does exist physically. Even if I don't personally get on with the series, I think it'd be really cool to have the complete collection on Switch in my collection. So yeah, that's enough of me talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X and the original game, Definitive Edition. Those are all my Switch games for this month. It's actually quite a good amount. I'm pretty happy with this. We have the less good one and then the 2 good ones, but you know, here they are. These are my 3 Switch games for March 2025. Let's go ahead and pop these into the collection. We're going to be moving on to another system now. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the PS2. So as I mentioned in my original video in this series, collecting, if you haven't seen that already, by the way, go ahead and check it out in the cards above. I talked about how my PS2 collection is not what it used to be. When I was a kid, I had a ton of PS2 games, but over time they've either been lost to time or sold or etc. And so I don't have that big collection anymore, but I'd like to rebuild it, and I am working slowly to rebuild my PS2 collection, especially while the games are still pretty cheap, so that it can kind of relive that kind of glory it had when I was a kid. So I bought 2 games that really resonated with me as a child. The first one is Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. This is a fantastic video game, and before the Spider-Man PS4/PS5 games came out, this was the absolute best experience you could have as Spider-Man in a video game. Unfortunately, the case on this one is a little bit dinged up. The eBay listing did say that it was in really good condition. I personally disagree. I don't think it is, but it's still acceptable for what I'm looking for. And here we are. Here's the game, and then inside we have, of course, the blessed manual, the manual from back in the day where you learn all about the video game on the way home from the shops. And we have the beautiful artwork on the back as well with Dr. Octopus ready to come and get Spider-Man, and some details about the game. I have absolutely brilliant memories of my brother and I playing this. This was a game that my brother was absolutely in love with, and just, you know, swinging around the open world, beating up thugs and beating up criminals, and doing all the fun stuff that Spider-Man does. This was the first video game that, this sounds cheesy, made you feel like Spider-Man. Really let you loose on a fantastic open New York world to explore and have fun in, and really sold that kind of like open world Spider-Man experience. That plus the pizza music is pretty good, and it's pizza time. And it is one of the best movie tie-in games probably of all time, in my opinion. Maybe that's nostalgia talking, but I don't care. So that's Spider-Man 2, and the other PS2 video game that I'm adding to my collection this time is Crash Twinsanity. Now, this is a game from when before I understood the developer politics that were happening behind the scenes with Crash Bandicoot. Obviously, originally it started as a Naughty Dog franchise and then moved over to Activision. I had no idea about that. I was a kid. There was a new Crash Bandicoot game out. I wanted to play it. I enjoyed the hell out of Wrath of Cortex because I was a kid and I had low standards, and then this came out as well. Pretty much ditches all of the norms and conventions that you'd expect from a Crash Bandicoot game, and completely turns it all on its head. Gone are the corridor-based back-to-front levels that you would normally experience in a Crash Bandicoot game for something way more open with its level design. Very, very interesting game. Obviously, Cortex plays a huge, huge part in this game, way more than he ever has in Crash Bandicoot before. And overall, this was a really, really inventive and innovative game in the franchise. It's just a massive, massive shame that it was so underbaked. It needed much, much more time in the oven to get 100% perfect, and it is unfortunately a bit of a buggy mess. But underneath all of those bugs and underneath all of that mess, there is actually something that is a really, really cool concept for Crash Bandicoot, and something that I think was genuinely unique and creative. And I have to say, this copy that I purchased from eBay is in really, really good condition. Very, very happy. It even came in a nice plastic sleeve, as you can see, which is reflecting my light. This is in great condition. It's not too scratched in terms of the case, and as we see here, here is the wonderful game itself and the manual. I love a manual. And I love a manual. And here is the artwork. I love the green theme that they went for with this artwork. It looks really cool. The front of the box really makes it clear what this game is about. It is about the relationship between Crash and Cortex, and they are as close as they've ever been in this video game. So I really like that. Is really, really good fun. If you haven't played Crash Insanity, I'd 100% recommend giving it a try, especially if you're a big Crash Bandicoot fan. It is like no other Crash game that exists. So yeah, there's that. And that is it with PS2 for this month. Those are all my PS2 games, so let's go ahead and put those in the collection. And now we move on to the Rayman shelves. As I said in my collecting introduction video, I'm a big fan of the Rayman franchise. It's something that's been with me my entire life as I grew up. And I've added some more things to my collection this month. So the first thing is Rayman Origins for the Xbox 360. I don't know what happened to my original copy of this, but essentially this is the version that I first purchased when I first got the game. This is a fantastic video game. It's a return for Rayman to the 2D platforming genre, and it really came back with this beautiful hand-drawn art style and a brand new engine, 60 FPS, 1080p, gorgeous visuals. In terms of the gameplay, it's really nothing like Rayman's first 2D outing, which is Rayman 1, but you know, it's 2D and it's called Rayman Origins. It's acknowledging the fact that it's 2D again. Originally, it was actually going to be a game about Rayman's origins, but somewhere in the development process, they changed their minds and actually just made it a fun continuation of the Rayman series, rather than focusing on the lore and the story aspects. I'm really interested to know what happened behind the scenes with Rayman Origins, what really motivated that decision to sort of take it away from the story aspect and just focus purely on the gameplay. The story in this game is pretty lackluster overall. It's a really fun video game. In fact, it's one of my favorite Rayman games for sure. I actually picked this game up originally on a trip with my parents, and I had no idea that it came with this exclusive lithograph. And this is the copy that I've been trying to repurchase, because I like I say, I don't know where it went. I lost it, maybe lent it to someone at some point, then moved house, and it's just kind of disappeared. But this is the version that I wanted to get back. I did actually repurchase a Xbox version, sort of like just a non-branded Xbox One 360 version. But this is essentially a repurchase I did just so I had a physical copy of the game. But as I was browsing eBay, I found one of these lithograph copies for a really good price. So I messaged the seller to make sure I had the lithograph still, because a lot of people who are selling this on eBay doesn't have the lithograph anymore, which is kind of exactly what I wanted to get. Obviously, okay, we have the manual. Xbox 360 games still have manuals, which is lovely. But so essentially it came with this envelope, Rayman Origins, and inside is the lithograph artwork. And it's nothing crazy, it's just I really regretted, or I really was upset that I lost my original copy, because you get this lovely piece of artwork from the game. I might have to buy a new case for the game, because the case that this came in is not an amazing quality, but I'll see in the future how I feel. Like I say, I was pretty much just buying this to get the lithograph back. So yeah, and that's it. Rayman Origins, one of my absolute favorite games on the Xbox 360 generation. It really rekindled my love for 2D platformers as well. This was a time in my life where I really had gone off the genre, and I was kind of not really feeling it hugely, but this game really rekindled that love for me. So yeah, very grateful to this game in a lot of ways. But that is not all. I actually picked up one other Rayman thing. This is not a game necessarily. This is a figure. This is collectible merchandise. So here he is. You may be a bit confused. So this guy is a robot henchman from Rayman 2, The Great Escape, and this is a McDonald's toy. So in the year, I think it was 2000, in France, they had a Rayman McDonald's collaboration, in the same way that any franchise would have a McDonald's collaboration now. There was a run of 6 different toys that you could get in your Happy Meal, and this guy is one of them. They were only available in France, and like I say, there's only 6 of them, and they're pretty rare now, because obviously they're like 25 years old, which, oh my god, they're 25 years old. So I have started collecting them, because I've decided it's finally time for me to own all of these. And as a Rayman fan, if you're a Rayman fan as well, you know there's not much out there. So we take what we can get. He's a Rayman robot henchman. He's from Rayman 2. He's one of the key villains, sort of like the stormtrooper villain of the game. You fight a hell of a lot of these guys as you're playing through Rayman 2. His leg, like he spins around, and also you can press this, and I think his chest is supposed to light up. this is 25 years old. That doesn't quite work anymore. Obviously, as I collect them, I'll put them in this collecting haul video series. And of course, once I've got the full set, I actually want to do a more in-depth collecting video about the Rayman McDonald's figures. Specifically, I intend to do a bit of research, find out about the origins of it, and also just talk more about the details of each figure specifically. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can watch the Rayman McDonald's figures collection video. So those are the 2 Rayman things that I bought this month, so let's put them in the collection. And that brings us to the last system that I purchased for this month, and includes my Grail purchase. So we're going to talk about the 3DS. Now, first of all, we have Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call. Okay, this isn't a game for me. This isn't really a game that I'm that interested in. I bought something else, and this just happened to come with it. So that's why I have it. From what I understand, this is a rhythm game. I don't know what gives that away, with Final Fantasy characters, and it has a cute little art style, and it has music from Final Fantasy in it. Here is what's inside. Of course, we get get some paper, you get like a little manual and some paperwork, and obviously the game itself as well. I'm quite happy to have this in my collection. I'll probably give it a try at some point, but it's not something that I was looking to collect in my collection. But as I said, the other thing that I purchased just happened to come with this as an extra, so you know, I'll take it. It's fine. This game, you can pick it up online, relatively cheap. But you know, I'm happy to have this. It's a pretty cool thing. Let's talk about the main event. One of my Grail purchases. This is off my big wish list. Something that I've wanted to own for a very long time, and that something is the Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds limited edition Nintendo 3DS XL. It's so cool to finally own this. It's something that I've been keeping my eye on eBay listings for a very long time. I finally found one that was a really good price. I bid on it and I won it, so I'm really happy about that. So there's something about Zelda consoles that I just find super exciting and enjoyable and cool to look at. When I was thinking about what limited edition consoles that I wanted to collect, especially from the 3DS era, which is an era that really resonated with me in terms of getting me back into gaming and really engaging with that gamer side of my brain, it just seemed like a no-brainer. I actually already have the Ocarina of Time 3D limited edition 3DS console that came out when Ocarina of Time 3D did, and now I've got this one as well, and it is my intention and my dream to collect all of the limited edition 3DS consoles for the Legend of Zelda series. So I've got 2 out of 5. There's 3 more to collect. I hope I get to in the future. It'd be awesome to complete that line of systems. I have pretty high standards when it comes to buying these systems. It needs to be in a box and it needs to be practically unused, or if it has been used, there needs to be no signs of wear and tear on the system itself. I have a very high standard for these things, but also means that they are a bit pricier than just buying one that's been heavily used or maybe doesn't come with the box or the original accessories. So this obviously has the beautiful gold top, the black underneath, and it has the 2 versions of the Triforce, the regular Triforce and then the low rule Triforce underneath. It came with a digital copy of A Link Between Worlds, which I think unfortunately is missing from this, which makes sense because it's a digital game. It definitely got redeemed onto someone else's account. And yeah, A Link Between Worlds as a Zelda game is definitely one of my absolute favorites. It's one of the first Zelda games that I played when it came out as well, so I think it just has a really special place in my heart. Played it multiple times, so having this system that came out to celebrate the launch of that video game feels really special. Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds actually came out in 2013 on the exact same day as Super Mario 3D World. What a dual lineup. And I think it's also the same day that either the Xbox One or the PS4 came out. It's an absolute privilege to be in the position to be able to buy something like this and add it to my gaming collection. This is a franchise that means a whole bunch to me, and a console that means a whole bunch to me, and it's, you know, this game in particular holds a very special place to me, so being able to own this limited edition console, it's pretty special, and I'm very excited to have it in my collection, right up here next to the Ocarina of Time 3DS. So lucky to have this. It's crazy. One of the coolest is, it's such a simple design. It really harks back to that Legend of Zelda Game Boy Advance SP. It really is like the successor to that design. It's just so cool. So yeah, very happy with that one. So that's the 3DS stuff. Let's put it in the collection. So yeah, that's my entire collecting for this month. It was a pretty big month, March. I don't expect every month to be like this, especially as leaning towards the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to be focusing on putting my money aside for that system. I don't really know if I'm going to talk about digital video games in this going forwards. I think maybe we'll see about how things go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment below. Did you pick up any video games this month? Tell me about them. I want to hear about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to do another one at the end of April so you can see what I pick up during the month of April. I hope that sounds good, people, and I'll see you in the next video.